All right, let's see over here, boys and girls. See if we got anything good. This is my little treasure chest. Mein Schatztruhe. All right, let's start on the left. World War II Iron Cross first class screwback. Iron Cross first cross in the case, class in the case. I just acquired all this stuff over the years. Whenever I see it, I pick it up. If I see original World War II stuff that's correct, so need to learn Italian. Maybe I should take that home with me right now and learn some Italian. A Creta armband. These were awarded to the paratroopers and mountain troopers that fought in Crete on the invasion, which was a bloody deal. Airborne Division training. Transitional helmet, Luftwaffe M40. Another Polizei, M42 Luftwaffe. So this is interesting stuff here. These shoulder boards were given to me by Kurt Finke, who fought my dad at Salerno and at Anzio. He told me he wore these from the beginning of the war to the end, and they just kept getting upgraded. Very nice man. This knife here was given to me by Colonel Ed Sayer. He was actually a captain during World War II. When he was in Africa, he said he was issued this in Georgia when he finished jump school. It's not your standard switchblade, but it's like a Swiss Army knife, I guess, for officers. He said he carried it all through World War II and in Korea and in Vietnam. He fought in all three conflicts. This piece of parachute was given to me by Fred Baldino. He was in the 504 Parachute Infantry Regiment. He was in Africa. He jumped at Sicily, Salerno, and then Market Garden. And this is a piece of his chute from Market Garden. He said when he hit the ground, he cut it off his chute to make a helmet cover, but not too long after that, he got hit by a mortar, and that was it for him. He was kind enough to cut that off and give that to me. And I'll always honor him and talk about him. Now this is a nice, interesting piece. I got this from a lady whose husband had died. So it's a parachute inspection book. Parachutes are inspected every so often. And this is Christmas Eve written in English. The month first, then the day. Okay, that's how Americans write it. Germans write the day first and then the month. So in the back of this book is this picture of a German pilot. And you can see he has a leather channel outfit on. And there's a 40 millimeter anti-aircraft American emplacement behind him. So my guess is, well, let's read the back of the picture. Lula, this is boy, I sent you the little blue book I got off December 44, German pilot. So I'm putting this together like Sherlock Holmes, but I'm guessing this 40 millimeter here shot him down. And when he was landed on the ground, they souvenir hunted him. And all this fellow got was the inspection book from his parachute. He took a picture of him. He sent it home to Mama, and it took a while to develop the picture. And when he finally developed the picture, he was able to send it home to Mama, and she put the two together. So I put them together with a German pilot wings because I thought that that would be appropriate. Okay, Mitch, did I talk about the flag and the data tag from the ME-109 before? Okay. Well, this is a pretty special deal what I've got here. Turk was a paratrooper in Italy, and he sent me this American flag that he wore on his uniform when he was in Africa, when he jumped at Sicily, and when he jumped at Salerno. He said at Salerno he cut it off and mailed it home, along with this Italian flag. He said in their bivouac area at Salerno, an Italian came through, and he said that he traded him a pack of cigarettes for this flag. And with that, he sent me this data tag. Let me take it out so Mitch can get a good shot of this. I didn't really understand the significance of this when I got it, but I took it to the Frontiers of Flight Museum, and they went gaga over it. Well, I can't get it out, but maybe you can get a good shot. So Turk told me that he was sitting at the tarmac in Sicily because they were supposed to jump on Rome, and the Rome jump was canceled, and so they were just sitting there. And he said the battle was raging at Salerno. The Texans were fighting the Germans, and he said that a German plane came and landed at the airport next to him. An American fighter was on either wing of the German fighter, and he forced him down. They forced him down. He said the German landed and got out and stood there, and a Jeep came up, and they captured him, and they drove the pilot off. And Turk said, well, I was just sitting next to the plane, so I got in it. And he was in the 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 82nd, Company E. And he said this little data tag, or he said this little thing was on the airframe, and so I popped it off, and he mailed it home. Well, they gave it to me. I took that into the Frontiers of Flight Museum, and they wouldn't let me out. They finally, some guy came in and he said, let me see it. And he looked it up in some big fat book, and he goes, I can't remember exactly. It's an ME-109 G or F Tropical, made in 1942, and it disappeared in Africa. Well, it disappeared in Sicily, actually. In any event, they wanted it. They said that they could build an airplane around it. If you have the data tag, every piece on the airplane can be a replacement. But I promised Turk that I'd keep it, so I can't do that. All right, well, here we have some items that are very dear to me. The medals that Christian von Lucke's daughter sent to me when he died. So Christian von Lucke was the German tank commander at Salerno that commanded the 2nd Regiment of the 16th Panzer, where the Texans invaded, at Salerno, where my dad was, September 943. And he became a colonel after the war, but when he fought my dad, he was a first lieutenant. And when I would visit him in Hamburg, Zickzack 45, Zigzag Way 45 was his address. He would get the medals out and he'd dump them out. He had them in like a lunch sack, and he'd dump them out, and boy, I'd try and get them from him. He said a Prussian officer doesn't get rid of his medals. So when he died, his daughter mailed them to me. She understood our relationship. This is Christian von Lucke. Here's an elderly gentleman. And here's his dog tag, 5th Company, Panzer Regiment 2. These are his collar patches. That's the tradition badge that they put on their cap of the 16th Panzer. Here's his shoulder boards. At the end of the war, he was a captain, 2nd Regiment. And this Iron Cross First Class he was awarded at Stalingrad, where his brother was killed. He told me that he and his brother wrote his mother a postcard from Stalingrad that said, Wir stehen an der Volga. We stand on the Volga, the river. So here's his tank assault badge, number 25 assaults. I made a big deal about the 25 assaults, and he said, that's nothing. A friend of mine has 75. Silver Wounded Badge, Iron Cross 2nd Class, all from Christian von Lucke. He wore this stuff on his tunic when he fought my dad at Salerno. Now, this is something interesting. It's a cigarette case. And you can see here's Mussolini and his insignia, and here's Hitler with his insignia, and the eagle, and on top it says Vinceria, which I believe is victory in Italian. So this one's not in such great condition. This one's a little better. I got these probably 10, 15 years apart. I got this one first, and when I saw this, I wanted it because, well, I wanted to have two, because two's better than one. Ask the Wrigley Spearmint people. Cigarettes were a pretty big deal back then. This is a Czech Bible that was taken out of German trenches at Operation Varsity, March 24, 1945, when we went across the line, the largest airlift in history. All right, let's scoot down a little bit here. I'm guessing you're going to be pausing in between this, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking this could be at least 2 videos.
Okay. This is a great helmet here. This is a World War I believe it's an M16, that was transitioned into the Legion Condor. And the reason why I say that, okay, this is the early decal, and this is painted on, hand painted, and it still has the original World War I leather in it. So I got this from a lady. She said, when she handed this to me, I looked at it and I said, where in the world did you get this? And she said, I got this in Spain in the early 50s. I was an exchange student. And when I left the country, the father of the family that I stayed with gave it to me and said that it had been a German motorcycle rider's helmet. So I'm assuming the Legion Condor.